Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to bask in unprecedented glory, because today I'm going to be commencing my Netflix epic review appertaining to Star Wars Episode 9, which is slated to be released this year. Is this movie a paradigm of resounding perfection, or is it characterized by insipid mediocrity, or is it plunged into the abyss? In the form of quantitative score, I'd have to rate Star Wars Episode 9 a 0 out of 10. Just like its predecessors, is utterly egregious in all facets. The characters are vapid, they lack any iota of character depth, and their character development is terrible, to say the least, and that's me embellishing this atrocious movie. This movie is an abomination. It's disgraceful. It's pitiful. It doesn't warrant even a picosecond of your sacrosanct, precious, invaluable, indispensable, non-replenishable, finite time. What about the plot? It's anything but intriguing. It's antithetical of intriguing. It's the polar opposite of intriguing. The plot is just predictable, boring, and devoid of any real substance. What else? What about the dialogue? The dialogue is vapid. It's corny. It's boring. It can do anything but retain my attention. It goes out both ears before it even comes in. That's how non-engrossing it is. Remember Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith? That was all-encompassing. I also love Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, especially the latter half of the movie. That movie is just riveting. It provided me with my highest form of ecstasy, especially when you see Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin engage in a bout against the nefarious, malign, malignant Count Dooku. You also got to see Master Yoda enter the fray and give Count Dooku a trouncing. Count Dooku was able to parry Yoda's attacks, but I apologize about digressing. Star Wars Episodes 7, 8, and 9, the sequel trilogy, is just abysmal in all facets. The action sequences are far and few. The dialogue is poorly written, is not witty. The characters are not dynamic. And there's too many cliches throughout the film that are expected and overused. So this movie doesn't deliver anything new. It just further tarnishes and sullies and mars and disgraces the Star Wars franchise, which at this point has already been tainted. It used to be something that was sacred, something that reminisced eminently well with me. But when Disney took over the reins of the series, or the franchise, and began churning out hunks of rubbish in the form of Star Wars Episode 7, 8, and 9, it just put a damper on the excitement, caused a franchise to submerge into the abyss and plummet at such a fast velocity that there's no hope for recovery unless Disney relinquishes the intellectual property, which is highly unlikely. So, once again, to recap, Star Wars Episode 9 is unequivocally deserving of a 0 out of 10, and this is demonstrably clear, simply because the dialogue is vapid, the characters lack an iota of character development, and they don't resonate well with me, or even other avid devout Star Wars fans, or former Star Wars fans. I'm no longer an avowed Star Wars fan. I find the series to now be distasteful. The plot is just predictable. The cliches are abundant throughout the movie, and the settings are just lackluster, in my opinion. They don't have the same level of intricacy, depth, and meticulous detail as they did in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. So when I use that as a benchmark for comparison, Episode 3 relative to the other 3 episodes, even as an aggregate, as one cohesive trilogy, they're still just appalling. So all 3 episodes, 7, 8, and 10 get a 0 out of 10, and that's me being generous and embellishing them. If I could rate them lower, I would. They deserve a negative infinity. They're definitely an abomination to the franchise, to the series, and they forever disgraced the Star Wars franchise. But it is what it is. If you want to take a nostalgic trip down memory lane, then look no further than watching Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, and the early 2000s Star Wars: The Clone Wars cartoon. That cartoon was definitely engrossing. Finn, Rey, Kylo Ren are just terrible characters. I'm sure that the actors had the wherewithal to do a stellar job, but the characters themselves are just poorly written, poorly developed, and don't have a modicum of substance. So I'm done ranting and raving and prattling on and on and on. I'll reserve my gripes and grievances for an upcoming video. I hope that you found this video to be enticing. It's time to indulge in eating 5 to 10,000 calories of olives, desiccated raw organic coconut shreds, and of course 14 to 27 avocados. You can never get enough saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, phytonutrients, macronutrients, micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, carotenoids, flavonoids, plant-based enzymes, and other salubrious compounds, such as fiber, which is an indigestible carbohydrate. It comes in one end and comes out the other in an expeditious manner if your colon is not mucked up. Nothing gums up the works in my colon. It just comes out efficaciously. So I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and insightful. Star Wars Episode 9 doesn't warrant, doesn't merit any of your time. The characters are just non-interesting. The dialogue is vapid. It lacks any trace of stellar writing or wittiness. The plot is predictable, forecastable, foreseeable. It's anything but precarious, because you already know what's going to happen beforehand if you have a modicum of common sense. The action sequences are far and few, and the settings just feel desolated and lifeless, and not part of the Star Wars canon, to say the least. Relative to Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Was that George Lucas's magnum opus? Perhaps. If it was, I wouldn't be surprised, because that movie, Episode 3, merits your time over and over and over again, whereas Episodes 7, 8, and 9 are an instant pass. So I hope that you found this video to be ineffably glorious and informative. Have a wonderful, blissful, blessed 2019. Goodbye.